What's up, everybody? This is Ian, aka Cool Corn. What you're looking at here is Fields of Fire by GMT Games. And what I'm going to do, or attempt to do here, is play through the second mission entitled the Cerisy Offensive. Now, why am I doing this? I have kind of a storied history with Fields of Fire, as the people who I'm recording this video for know. But for those who don't, I have bought Fields of Fire First Edition 3 times. I have sold Fields of Fire First Edition 3 times. When Fields of Fire came out, I had all these visions of an incredibly immersive, narrative-driven, almost RPG-like experience in a war game. And while I got that, I was frustrated. I was frustrated with the rules as they were written. I was frustrated with the components, a few things that were fixed that I'll mention in a bit. But most of that was, there was a great game in there somewhere. I just couldn't get to it because I was banging my head against the rules so much. So I kept selling it, kept being drawn back because I really wanted to like this game. Then the second edition came out. The second edition of Fields of Fire fixed a lot of the problems I have with the rules, fleshed out a lot of things that were not as clear in the first edition, and even changed some component things that I had a problem with in the first edition. For example, the combat display, these commands available, there used to be 2 markers for commands available, one for available commands and one for saved commands. And condensing that into one that you can just keep up here on the command display, it just fixes a lot of the fiddliness, and that's something that this game had in spades, is fiddliness. So enough talk about the why. What are we doing here? This is mission number 2, the Cerisy Offensive. The first mission, the Trevière Offensive, there's multiple videos out there. I played it in the physical form before I made this video. I'm not going to record it. There's enough videos out there and really detailed playthroughs that I'm not going to bother doing that here. There aren't any videos of the second mission, or the third, or fourth, or how many are there? 5th, 6th, 7th. And also for Korea and Vietnam, there's not much out there. So I'd like to do some videos so that they're out there. This mission, the second mission, is very much the same as the first mission. The first mission is a 4-column by 3-row affair, where you have a primary and secondary objective at the top, an attack position on the next row down, and your object is to take the primary and secondary objectives and then clear the other 2 rows in that mission. This mission is 5 rows by 4 columns, and it's very much the exact same mission. You're trying to clear the primary and secondary objective and take the attack position, and you get variable amounts of experience for doing these various tasks. So why did I pick these objectives? I wanted to pick 2 that are adjacent to each other for one thing. It makes taking them a little easier when you can fire from one to the other, and also they had to be adjacent to the attack position, so it wouldn't make sense to do the marsh and the bocage, for instance. I wanted to pick ones with high defense values, so these 2s here would be easier to hold than the marsh, which just has a +1 defense up here. And quick side note, I'm not going to go super in depth into the rules introduction. There's enough videos out there for that. So what do we have in this? We have, again, much the same as we have in the first mission. Looking at the command display, all of the HQs have phones, CO TAC phones, and the CO HQ has a battalion TAC phone. I chose radios, not phones. I chose radios over phones because the radios deal in line of sight rather than phone lines, and there's some good hills here. This is a +1. This is a +2 hill. Over here there's a +1 hill, and that'll make line of sight a little easier. Excuse my dog in the background there. That'll make line of sight a little easier to give commands from. And also this multi-story building in the village here will also give a little bit of a height advantage for line of sight. I think I may have to look up that rule. Hopefully this video doesn't have a lot of stops for rules lookups because it's just the first turn, and knock on wood, not a lot's going to happen. Anyway, I digress. Everybody has TAC radios. I have dealt out the pyros, as you can see. I wanted the main HQ staff to have all red and green pyros. I like to do ceasefire on the red and advance on the green. It's kind of an easy mnemonic. For yellow and purple, I wanted the first sergeant to be able to tell people to shift their fire or seek cover. Pretty simple, straightforward. The platoons all have Whiskey Pete and Smoke. Let's see, World War II, I think they called it Whiskey Pete. Vietnam, they called it Willie Pete. We're still in World War II, so we're going to go with Whiskey Pete. Then up here, you can see we have daylight +0, no contact, obviously, and that's about it for this window. As for assets, we have obviously 3 platoons here. Each platoon is going to have a bazooka team, and the first and second platoons are going to have LMG teams. The HQ has an artillery field observer and a mortar field observer, each having their own radios. Also the Jeep, which I never seem to make use of, an HMG team, and the mortar section, which I chose over the 3 individual mortar teams. I just have had better luck with the mortar section. Fire support, the field artillery gets support from the 15th Field Artillery Battalion, which is going to give us 105 millimeter artillery, and they get 3 draws for that. Mortar gets 2 draws, CO gets 2 draws. One thing that is different in this mission is that it seems like the CO and mortar and artillery field observers can all draw for fire support, which is really nice. That's going to come in very handy. The mortar gets a battalion 81 millimeter mortar platoon. The arty gets 2 draws, mortar gets 3 draws, CO gets 2 draws. And then there's a regiment cannon company that's also 105 millimeter. Arty gets 3 draws, mortar gets 3 draws, CO gets 2 draws. I wish I had a fancy way to display all this, but I don't believe I do. Yeah. So, I've blabbed enough. Pretty straightforward mission. I've got 3 platoons. I'm trying to take primary and secondary objectives from this attack position. Let's dig in. So we're on turn 1, and where's my... There used to be a phase track up here. Maybe that doesn't exist anymore, or maybe I'm just not seeing it. Anyway, there is a sequence of play in the play aids. Oh, okay, I guess it just uses this now. So friendly higher HQ event phase, not going to happen this turn because we're on turn 1. We're not in a defensive mission, so 3.2 is not going to apply. And now 3.3 is the command phase. Starting with the battalion HQ impulse, we do not have a battalion HQ on the map, so the company HQ is immediately going to be activated. So luckily, still figuring out this this new vassal module. It's a smidge different, so we'll draw a 2 on the helmet here. It's going to get a -1 for him being green, but a +1 for no contact. So the company HQ, sorry, over here, not the XO. Company HQ is going to get 2 commands. Now everybody down in the staging area is going to be in contact with each other. So what I'm going to do is, my plan is to try and come up the center here primarily, and then bring 3rd Platoon in on the right flank as support after that. So I'd really like to activate 1st Platoon and 2nd Platoon and get them going. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 1 for 1st Platoon and 1 for 2nd Platoon, and that's their activation completed. So moving on, we have activated the battalion, we have activated the company HQ, and now moving on to platoon HQs. This is just going to be for activated platoons, so only the 1st and 2nd platoons are going to do something right now. So let's go to our action cards. 1st platoon, big money, 4. Again, -1 for being green, but +1 for being in no contact currently. So 1st platoon is going to get 4 actions. That is really good. My go-to first action is to spend 1 command, not action, sorry. Should use the proper terminology here. I'm going to take 3rd squad and break out an assault team here. So that's going to use up one of the steps for third squad and create this assault team in 1st platoon. So that's 1 command. 2nd command I'm going to use to send that assault team into these open fields, which really kind of sucks because line of sight just goes straight through this card and there is no defensive modifier on this card. There is 1 opportunity for cover to be found, but I only get 2 cards to draw for that. And also this is up on a hill, so line of sight goes a long way. All in all, a really bad card to be on, but we have to clear all of these potential contact markers, and we've got 10 turns to do it in, so gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, so and this guy goes under an exposed marker. Great. So we've done this. I could break out another runner or another assault team and send them up to this orchard grove. Oh, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to spawn more enemies than I can really handle right now. I know I've only got 10 turns, but I'd like to at least try and pace myself so I don't get overwhelmed here. So for the time being, I'm going to save these 2 commands, which, as you can see, max save green day under 3. That is the most that a green leader can save during a day. I'm under that. I can save up to 3. And that'll go for all of these platoons. Okay, moving on to second platoon. How many commands will they get? 3. I can live with 3. 3 is okay. So we get 3 commands. I'm going to do the exact same thing to break off a runner and send him up into the bocage here. So lose a step, place an assault team, color him, and then move him up here as exposed. Great, so that's really all I want to do with them. So again, I'm going to bank that other command. Once we've got some enemies on the board, really going to make better use of those commands. There's going to be a lot more to do here. All right, so we're chugging right along. Let's go to the initiative segment because we only activated 2 of the platoons. We're not going to do anything with third platoon in this phase. Moving on, the COHQ has already been activated, so we're going to move on. Platoon HQs, this is where I will activate the third platoon. We're going to use the smaller number, which is a 2 here. I'm just going to go ahead and bank those 2. I'm going to be using third platoon as kind of my bringing up the rear team. So I don't want to send them out quite yet. Great, so moving on. CO Staff Impulse. The XO and First Sergeant are each going to get 1 command, and there's really nothing I want to do with them right now, so I'm just going to bank those commands. Great. And here's where the fun happens. The General Initiative Impulse. Oh man, I really hope I draw at least a 2 here. Okay, here it goes. Okay, I can live with a 2. So I've got 2 commands to spend wherever I want, and I'm going to spend 1 on each of these assault squads, assault team, whatever, to search for cover. First one is going to be in the open fields here. I get to draw 2 cards. I'm sure there is a let's see, movement, attempt to seek cover, draw cover number plus minus. Plus or minus what? Well, I don't know. So, who knows? I'm sure it's in the rules. Again, excuse my dog in the background. I'm not going to look it up right now. I'm just going to draw the number on here. So, draw 2 cards. Neither one of these have the cover keyword on them, so no cover. Let's look in the hedgerow. We're going to draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do indeed have cover, so that's good news. I'm going to place a... Can I do that here? Yeah, place cover, and it's just going to be standard cover. All right, that's great news. That I can live with. Let's go back to the playhead. All right, so we've done the general initiative. Great. Moving on to the enemy HQ, higher event segment. Not going to happen this turn. Enemy activity check. There's no enemies yet. Capture and retreat. There's nothing that needs to do either of those things. Vehicles and aircraft. We have none of those. Update fire missions. We have none of those. Evaluate PC markers. This we can do. So I've got 2 PC markers I need to evaluate here. And we're going to draw an action card to randomly decide which of those we're going to do first. On a random draw of 2, the result is 2. So we're going to evaluate the hedgerow bocage first. Let me go to the play aid here. Potential contact draw. Type of PC marker is C. We have no contact, so we're going to draw 4 cards and look for the contact marker. Contact keyword. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, come on. Okay. No contact. That's super great news. So we will get rid of that marker and move on. And this other one, again, we're going to draw 4. 1, yep, there's contact. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so time for some fun. Hope you guys are ready for fun, because I am. Let me look in the briefing book here. Looks like GMT decided not to put out a digital copy of the briefing book this time. That's fine. Just means I can't show you what I'm seeing here, but you'll just have to trust me. We're going to draw a random number 1 through 10. Come on. There we go. And it's a 7. On potential contact C, a 7 is LMG Nest. All right. So let's look at the force packages here. LMG Nest is going to be on the same card, not spotted, under foxholes, and it's going to be 1 LMG team. So, all in all, could be better. Could be better, could be worse. We can deal with that. LMG team, I'm going to drag over to here. I'm going to flip that so that they are not spotted yet. And it's weird how that stacking works. They're going to be under, what was it I said, foxholes? LMG Nest under foxholes, correct. And they're not seen. But they do have a, what? No. Whatever. That here. They will put a PDF. How do I rotate this? Oh, control period. They do have a PDF here. Make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. And they will put a volume of fire here, which is going to be automatic. Okay, there we go. So we'll put that there. All right, and none of my other squads are going to open fire because they are not seen. Next turn, I'll attempt to spot them, but for now, there's nothing really I can do about them, unfortunately. Okay, so we have evaluated PCs. We have placed the enemy force. Moving on, combat effects segment. I'm going to evaluate the volume of fire here. They are the only ones, this assault team is the only one currently under a volume of fire. Unfortunately, it's going to be a -3 check. -2 for being exposed, -1 for the automatic weapons, and there's no bonus for the fields. And obviously no cover was found, so I'm going to draw for a -3. -3 is obviously a hit. I'm going to draw another card to see what the effect is. There we go. On a line, the effect is a fire team. Replace with a fire team. matters to do that, but okay, well, could be worse, could be better. Discard those. Could have been a casualty, could have been something worse like a litter team or a paralyzed team. We can live with that. So now, cleanup phase. We're going to get rid of, well, we can just click cleanup. Boom. Makes things easier for us. And also, I'm going to flip all of these back over to their commands available side. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to use these, but it seemed like the best idea. It's just what works for me. So anyway, done with that phase and done with this turn. Boom. So haven't made much progress on turn 1. 1/10 of the way through this game, and I've already got a guy getting shot at and another guy making a little bit of progress. At least I can, move some guys forward next turn and make a little more progress. Anyway, thanks for making it through this rambling video so far. Hope you come back for the next video, which I hope to have out in the next couple of days. We'll see how that goes. I am notoriously flaky with games, so we'll see how this goes, but my plan right now is to make 1 video per turn and finish this mission out in 10 videos. So thanks for watching. Again, this is Ian, aka Cool Corn. Goodbye.